Every single time I travel, I am left with this sense of regret that I didn't capture enough content or didn't document the experience the way I had wanted to. And though that feeling in itself is a whole other thing in need of unpacking, because like, why can't I just relax and live in the moment and let memories be memories and all of that? The reality is I am a content creator, and not a massively successful one that can take multiple epic trips a year and designate some trips just for work and others just for pure personal enjoyment. And I honestly hate to say it out loud, but I can never shake the feeling that an epic trip not documented was a bit of a waste from a business perspective. Again, we'll unpack that another time. And so I told myself that my Euro summer trip of 2023 was going to be different. I didn't want a repeat of our honeymoon, which though was literally one of the best trips of my life. I looked like a vagabond gremlin in like every single photo. And I couldn't for the life of me find much that would be usable on social media, or even anything that was fully representative of the incredible trip that we had. And so the moment that we booked our tickets to Europe, I set the goal to capture more high quality, intentional content than I had on any trip prior. And now that I'm back, and if I'm not being too hard on myself, I think that it kind of worked out. So let's talk about the 6 steps that I took to set myself up for success. Because making the most out of this trip took a little bit more preparation than just telling myself, shoot more content. Step 1. Gather inspo. One of the many things that stops me from capturing content on the go or from being happy with the content that I've captured is the sheer panic of not knowing what to do when the camera is turned on me. I don't know what to do with my hands, my face, the angles. And so in advance of this trip, I sought out and saved so much inspiration. I turned primarily to Instagram and Pinterest, and I made folders and boards full of composition examples, poses, angles, etc. that I would maybe want to try out for myself. I also tried to practice a couple in the mirror at home so I could memorize my favorites. That way when the camera was on me, I wouldn't be at a complete loss, and the inspiration would be readily available on my phone if needed. Saving inspo can also come in the form of saving songs or TikTok audios that you might want to use while you're on your trip. I did this as well and categorized them as low effort, lip syncing, 2 people, etc. to help me pull something up on the fly if needed. Number 2, I planned key concepts in advance so that you don't come home feeling like you created absolutely nothing or get choice paralysis while you're on the go by the sheer amount of things that you could be creating. It is so helpful to plan out some key concepts in advance. Whether it's a social media trend, a YouTube video, a blog series, plan out at least 1 to 2 things that no matter what, you are going to capture on this trip. That way, if you get around to nothing else, you'll be satisfied that you checked those things off. And having those concepts in your head before you even go will make you feel a lot more comfortable carving out time along the trip to execute your vision. But the key here is to be flexible and realistic in what you can achieve. That's why I say only try to do 1 to 2 things. For me on this trip, I wanted to, at minimum, I had lots of grand ideas, but at the very minimum, I wanted to do a series for YouTube about my camera lenses. My original plan was for one day in each country, I would use a different lens to vlog and document my experience using it. But I missed London, struggled in Portugal, and had to double up in Ireland. But I still managed to pull the series off because I was able to plan it in advance and dedicate specific days of the trip to this project, pull out all of the according gear, and make the schedule accordingly. Of course, because I'm a dreamer, I also wanted to do a bunch of TikTok trends and YouTube videos while I was there. I actually wanted to film this video on the beach in Portugal. Like, wouldn't that have been gorgeous? Number 3, plan your outfits, please. I have learned the hard way that an outfit can make or break an aesthetic piece of content. So for this trip, I planned my outfits pretty far in advance. I still dressed quite minimally and packed quite light, but I ensured that everything I packed was something that I would feel good in and feel good being photographed in. I even went as far as taking pictures as I packed of myself in the outfit, making sure that every top could go with multiple bottoms and every bottom could go with multiple tops. If it was just a standalone piece that only worked with one outfit, I didn't bring it. Number 4, plan your gear. Know what you're bringing and for what purpose. This is why it's important to have your concepts and ideas kind of all ready to go, because you can effectively plan out what you'll need to bring to be able to execute everything. Are you just going to shoot casual content on your phone? Are you going to do higher production content on your camera? Will you need a tripod, shotgun mic to vlog you and your friends, or a lapel mic to do more talking head style videos? Being really intentional will A, prevent you from lugging around a bunch of stuff you don't need, and will help prevent you from facing choice paralysis when it's time to actually shoot. I'm always guilty of overpacking on every single trip, and I'm always overwhelmed by all of the different choices to shoot on. While I'm there struggling if I should capture the moment on my phone or cinematically on my camera, and if so, which lens, like the moment's already gone, or it just seems too complicated that I tell myself my eyes will do just fine. My one lens challenge for this trip really helped curb my sense of overwhelm, and I decided that my camera would really only be pulled out for YouTube specific concepts, and my phone would do fine with everything else. Number 5, intend to get the most out of your shot. For me, this meant planning to capture horizontal and vertical photos and video so that I could use my content for a variety of purposes, even ones that I hadn't initially planned on. If you are on a short timeline and that just seems way too tedious, consider shooting on your phone in a higher frame rate and resolution. That way your stills are likely to be a lot crisper if you want to screenshot a moment in the video, and you can crop in and change the aspect ratio while still maintaining decent quality. I find this foresight especially useful when I am looking for B-roll to include in my YouTube videos, or quick clips to use in an aesthetic Instagram reel trend. I've never regretted capturing too much content in multiple formats, except maybe when I get the low storage notification. And finally, number 6, brief your travel buddies. It's great to have your own vision, but if you're gonna need help executing it, it's important to brief the people you'll be traveling with. Maybe that's telling them the angles you'd like them to shoot at, or as I had done with my friends, that you would like them to capture a lot of candid moments of you. Maybe you just want them to know that you might disappear here and there to try to get the shot, and it's okay, they don't need to wait up. And if you don't have a travel buddy, you're going solo, then it's important to circle back to making sure you have the right gear. Do you have a tripod, an intervalometer, a remote shutter button, or a phone app? While yes, the priority on a trip should be enjoyment, relaxation, experiencing new places and people, as content creators, it can feel if we aren't capturing all these memories, moments, and adventures, like we are messing up by not capitalizing on all of this freshness in our life. Or maybe you're just like me and you have a horrible memory and you are incredibly nostalgic and you just want to make sure that you have made the most, captured the most, so that you can look back on everything fondly. I hope these tips help you do just that, and keep an eye out for my lens videos if you want some more clips from my getaway. If any of them are up, I will drop them right here. Thanks for watching, and until next time.